Childhood, my parents, the way I was raised. I was raised in Encino, California by wonderful parents. My mother was a paralegal.
I would really want NBA. You're on.
Good morning. Thank you for your attention. Picture this. My first week as a financial consultant in 1997, a mentor and former baseball coach visited me at my Merrill Lynch office to offer some advice. Before he did, he sat down in my tiny cubicle and listened as I cold called aggressively for 30 minutes. He saw the fire in my eyes, the passion to succeed. It was the same look he saw for years on the baseball diamond. Immediately after my final cold call, which resulted in my new account, I looked at my old friend and said, "No problem." He reached over, put his hand on my shoulder and said, "JP, may I offer you some advice?" "Of course," I said. "Never let money determine who you are as a person. Your worst enemy is and has always been your desire to succeed. Relax, slow down, enjoy the process." "Of course," I said. "I have it under control." 11 years later, my former coach visited me in prison. We sat together at a formica table and feasted on vending machine cuisine, such as barbecue chicken on sesame seed rolls, stale wheat thins, slices of cheesecake, and diet sodas brought with the rolls of quarters he had brought. Finally, after more than an hour of small talk, he said quietly, "So what happened?" "I came to attribute who I was to what I had," I said. "Do you remember the advice I gave you as you were starting your career?" "Yes," I said. "I remember the day I surrendered to prison." I'm here today to discuss the worst chapter in my life, with the hopes that none of you will suffer such a fate. But I'm not here to tell you a cautionary tale by saying, "Don't do this," or "Don't break the law." That much you already know. Instead, I'm going to tell you the consequences that followed my illegal and unethical behavior. I'm going to tell you what happens when we put money first and use others as means to achieve our goal. I'm not an ethicist, nor am I a philosopher. I'm a stockbroker turned real estate agent turned convicted felon. The hard truth is that I had one tangible asset remaining through this experience, and it was an experience that I knew could help others. I'm sharing my story with you today for a few reasons. One, I hope sharing my story emboldens each and every one of you to face your own moral dilemmas with more courage and responsibility than me. Two, there may be some things in your own business, in your own life, that you need to re-examine and reevaluate. Don't let pain and shame become the catalyst that evokes change. I had to learn the hard way, from the wrong side of prison boundaries. And third, sharing my story helps distance me from that person I was so many years ago. For too long, I was part of the problem. Through these deliberate efforts I make to atone, however, I intend to live as part of the solution. Before I go on, everyone here should know that I have been punished for my crime. As a consequence of my bad behavior, I suffered massive financial losses, devastated my career, and humiliated my family. I suffered the indignities of prison. I will forever be branded as a felon, and worst of all, I wrestle with my conscience and having contributed to the making of victims. Today I'm going to discuss one key point: how small moral lapses over a number of years while working in an aggressive business environment eventually led me to fraud. At no time today will I ever offer an excuse for my behavior. I made every decision with my eyes wide open. I am truly sorry. If prisons are supposed to be about corrections and rehabilitation, they certainly worked in my case. I never imagined that while I was spiraling through the abyss for so many years prior to my term, that it would be a federal prison where I would find my bearings. My recalibration required a lot of work, but I believe my sanction has brought me a measure of wisdom, a feeling of virtue that did not exist before I wore prisoner's clothes. I tried to express that evolution through my book, Lessons from Prison, and I'll strive to convey that message today.